Most extraordinary battles the domestic cats were involved in. Number 15. Cat versus Fox. Foxes are cocky animals and do not shy away from a confrontation, especially when the opponents seem to be comparably weaker and submissive. The cats found in the neighborhood might not have the same skill set as the ones in the wild, but they're no less vicious. This fox and a cat are in the middle of a ferocious argument. The cat holds its ground and maintains direct eye contact with the contender to ensure it never goes out of sight. It attacks the fox with its claws and snaps at the predator every time it tries to come closer. Once the cat is assured that the opponent is intimidated and won't retaliate, it takes off silently. Here, a cat takes on a fox and fluffs up its coat to appear big and scary. This tactic seems to have made an impact on its rival, as the fox maintains a fair distance from the feline at all times. The feline is alert, and as soon as the fox makes a move, it lashes out, forcing the attacker to retreat. When the time seems right, the cat makes a run for it and easily outsmarts the persistent stalker. Number 14. Cat versus Snake. Tackling a snake is no easy matter for even the hardiest of animals. Still, cats don't seem to mind openly fighting against these slithering opponents. The attacker has to be vigilant and possess impeccable reflexes while handling snakes, and the cats seem to have mastered the skill over the years. Like any other experienced predator, this white feline observes a tree snake before making any move. When the cat stays motionless for a long time, the snake lets its guard down and starts scaling the tree nearby. The moment the snake turns to face upwards, the cat follows and attacks it. The viper strikes back to keep the attacker at bay, but eventually, the cat succeeds in bringing down the victim. The fight continues for several minutes, causing the panicked snake to look for the fastest exit, but the cat doesn't seem to be letting go of the chase anytime soon. After a brief stare down, the cat makes the first strike immediately, sending the snake in flight mode. The serpent tries to slither away, but the feline quickly catches up and strikes it multiple times. The snake responds to the attack and also tries to play dead, but the cat is not having any of it and continues to harass the escaping victim. As the snake crosses over a pavement, it grabs the attention of a cat nearby. The curious feline approaches the snake and taps it with the paw to observe the consequences. The snake coils up as a defense, and the cat takes the higher ground to gain a vantage point. It strikes the snake again and nabs it almost immediately. Although the end is abrupt, things definitely didn't look good for the serpent. Number 13. Cat versus Badger. Badgers and cats can share the same neighborhood frequently. They might even share the same house. And although cats can be tolerant of other animals most of the time, food is something that is likely to cause a conflict. A food platter is being shared by a cat and a badger. The cat is settled at one corner and only focuses on its portion of the meal. But the badger gets greedy and tries to sneak a bite from the cat's food. The enraged feline tries to hold back for a while, but when the badger shows no sign of retreating, the cat snaps at it and hits it multiple times, forcing the badger to back off. Number 12. Cat versus Monkey. Both monkeys and cats can be immensely notorious and a menace. They are highly unpredictable with an unstable temperament. Monkeys have a knack to seek out challenges with other animals, but cats are not the ideal opponents to mess with. This monkey is unaware that a cat is keeping a close eye on its movements. The feline knows that this animal is not to be trusted and never takes its eye off it. Sure enough, the monkey lurks around and attempts to launch a surprise attack, but the cat steals the chance and makes the move almost immediately. The stunned monkey leaps back, and even before it could pull off a second strike, the cat chases it, forcing the monkey to jump away. An intense showdown between a cat and a giant monkey takes place in the woods near a locality. The monkey is visibly bigger, but the cat has no intention of backing away because of this size difference. It holds the ground firmly even as the rest of the primates show up. The monkey attacks the cat and drags it over for a few feet to teach the daring feline a lesson. Number 11. Cat versus Raccoon. Cats know how to defend their territory and do not entertain trespassers. They They are highly instinctive and alert creatures, and are quick to react when faced with dangers. Raccoons can be invasive and often resort to stealing food from households to live by, but raiding a house with a cat on the guard might have detrimental effects. A cat patrolling the yard spots a raccoon entering the premises. It stalks the intruder, but remains undetected until it's close enough to the raccoon. The raccoon is taken by surprise and tries to run away, but gets attacked by the feline. This raccoon attacks a pet cat, mistaking it as an easy opponent, but the cat fights back, sending both the rivals rolling on the ground. The feline survives the attack long enough for the owner to intervene and scare the raccoon away. Number 10. Cat versus birds. Although domestic cats do not hunt to eat on a daily basis, their innate predatory instincts might overpower them once in a while. And in times like those, they can tackle down the most unexpected victims. Their hunting skills are so smooth and flawless that the prey might not even notice them until it's too late. This cat is stalking a dove over the narrow wall. The hunter advances slowly to avoid scaring the bird away. Once it's close enough, the cat takes down the dove before the bird can make any attempt to take off. Moments later, the lifeless dove is seen dangling between the teeth of its vicious attacker. This feline has eyes on a small bird that's landed disturbingly close to it. Without wasting any time, the cat attacks the bird, but the prey slips away just in the nick of time. The chase continues for several minutes, and even though the cat gets hold of the bird many times, the victim gives the cat the slip every time. However, the bird isn't an expert flyer and stays close to the ground, which ultimately leads to its imminent death. This persistent seagull and crow want a share of the cat's meal, but the feline is not interested. When the birds get too desperate to steal, the cat attacks the seagull, scaring it away for good. Even though the bird does not lose hope and lurk around for the scraps, they never dare to mess with another feline. Number 9. Cat versus otter. Despite their adorable appearances and friendly demeanor, otters can be a deadly opponent when challenged or provoked. There are many animals that prefer to stay away from these killers, but not the cats. A cat is mauled to the ground by an otter, and the latter is biting down the feline at its neck. Even though it looks like a casual banter between two known playmates, the otter is capable enough to take down the cat at any time. The feline is playful but cautious, and holds off the otter from making any sudden move. Number 8. Cats versus rabbit. Rabbits can disappear as fast as they appear. The one on the attacking end needs to be fast with impeccable reflexes in order to fight one of these creatures, but cats are efficiently skilled in handling critical situations like these. A cat is sitting in the corner under the watchful eyes of two rabbits, and even though the feline is outnumbered, it still holds the dominant position in the face-off. The rabbits look around, but never dare to make a physical contact and retreat at the slightest hint of attack. This cat finds a small vulnerable rabbit and succeeds in hunting it down immediately. However, in a moment of distraction, the cat loses grip, allowing the prey to escape. It soon catches up and nabs the rabbit at its neck, claiming the kill with utmost ease. Number 7. Cat versus lizard. Depending on the stature of the lizard species they are facing, cats meticulously decide their next move. The fights can either be of dominance or of survival, and the felines improvise their plan accordingly. This cat spots a small lizard on the ground and instantly takes interest in it. The attacker strikes the lizard, making it bash against the timber and the ground to cause just enough injuries to make it surrender. It grabs the victim, but drops it shortly after to tease it a bit longer. The lizard is trapped and totally at the mercy of the cat, who soon wraps up the attack and kills the tiny creature with minimum effort. A monitor lizard confronts a cat, and the cat initially tries to intimidate the predator by appearing bigger, but as soon as the lizard attacks, the feline takes off, evading the attack by merely an inch. Number 6. Cat versus mongoose. Clearly, an animal that murders snakes regularly is no easy contender. Mongooses are deadly and extremely aggressive, not to mention tactful killers. However, it takes more than that to scare a daring cat in a battle. These annoying mongooses interrupt a cat feast, but the feline tolerates the invasion and allows the mongooses to take a share, until the latter get too comfortable and constantly prevent the cat from taking a bite. Then another cat arrives there to have the food, but the mongooses try to bother this one too. However, this cat isn't going to take all this nonsense, and it nabs one of the mongooses by its neck and slaps it, forcing it to scamper away at lightning speed. Number 5. Cat versus pigeon. Pigeons are one of the most common birds in any neighborhood, and hence make easy prey for the cats. Regardless of the consequences, an altercation between cats and pigeons will mostly end in a bloodbath. A cat senses a probable prey nearby, and instead of taking the shortcut, it decides to turn around and take the long route to catch its victim. Soon, the cat closes in, and before the bird could flutter away, the feline pins down the pigeon to seal the deal. A pigeon enters a death trap when it gets chased down by a cat. The pigeon makes a feeble attempt to get rid of its attacker, but the feline bolts at it and takes it down with one swift strike. The cat gets to work immediately and plucks out the feather from its victim, de-shedding the pigeon before proceeding to throttle its neck to confirm the kill. Number 4. Cat vs. Squirrel. Matching up to the agility of a squirrel needs a lot of hard work. Even the mere attempt to hunt down these creatures needs a lot of effort, skill, and patience. Cats are driven by curiosity and an urge to test the ability of their opponents, which often puts them against these animals. This feline is observing a squirrel scavenging the grounds for possible food items. Instead of going for a head-on attack, the cat decides to strike it by going around the tree, but the victim becomes alert of the imminent danger and counterattacks before fleeing to its freedom. Number 3. Cat vs. Chicken. Animals often share the same habitat and tend to live peacefully with no sudden burst of violence. However, predicting animal traits is difficult, and there might be occasions when cohabitants pick a fight, and before long, such fights can turn into something far more intense. For some unknown reason, this chicken and cat takes a serious offense against each other. The gnarly opponents have an intense face-off, and the cat is quick to jab a punch straight in the face of its challenger from time to time. Before the fight could escalate into something more vicious, the rivals take off. Number 2. Cat vs. Dog. Cats and dogs are like arch-enemies. Even though there are certain instances of the two animals living together in peace, there is no telling what might flip them off and put them on opposite sides in a battle. This dog is mauling a cat and bites down its neck. The cat is no amateur either, but in this situation, the best possible chance to survive is not fighting, but defending itself. The feline struggles to hold off its attacker, but puts all its efforts in evading the attacks coming its way. It even tries squeezing into the tiny hideout, but the dog drags out the slimy opponent to continue the torment. The desperate cat makes a dire attempt to get away and succeeds in climbing up the sheets and escaping its death just in the nick of time. In this intense cat and dog altercation, the dog is blocking the exit route to trap the feline, but does not attack it. Once backup arrives, the dog goes around the cat and attacks it from behind. It grabs the victim and violently shakes it to leave it mortally wounded. The cat is smashed onto the ground and completely surrounded by the dogs, waiting to make the final strike. Number 1. Cats vs. Alligator. It takes a different kind of guts to challenge or provoke an alligator, and the cats have got all that it takes. The reptile that is feared by the deadliest of predators fails to make an attempt in front of the cats. This cat shows serious displeasure when an alligator shows up to take a bite of the meat spread out on the banks. Taking no heed of the protest, the alligator indulges in the delectable platter laid out for it. When the cat feels the reptile is taking too much, it unleashes a few punches in the face of the predator. The alligator advances at the cat, but when the feline shows no sign of intimidation, the giant predator retreats into the water silently. That's all for today, folks. Which of these encounters did you find the most intriguing? Let us know in the comments down below. Plus, don't forget to like and share this video with your friends and family. To get more such amazing videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon so that you can get notified every time we come with a new video. Have a great day, and we hope to see you soon in another exciting video.